All right, the blind date is so cool. These dates I'm having you work on, I'm telling you, as a package together, it's going to open up a whole new world for you. Instead of a guy that just wants to ask out a cute girl and there's some nervousness and he does that and it might happen and he's shooting off as many of those blanks as he can. These dates right here, if you just structure all your dates in these five, each one of those is going to open up to another five dates, really with some gorgeous women. I'm just telling you, by just getting out there and showing up in people's lives, you're going to have people referring you across the board for women in their lives. Regardless of where I've ever been in my life, I've had great people bringing women to me. It's a phenomenon I've never been able to understand. The neighbors of my mother, people who should think that I'm the last guy you want to bring into a woman's life. And again, I'm talking about periods of my past. But the blind date is the date that we're going to talk about today. I would always encourage women in my life to set me up on dates. And they were always guaranteed a great time. And so, if anything, I was doing it to just show up and show women a different level that they could get to. And when I say a level, I'm not talking about myself. I'm just talking about the way they could get treated for a particular evening. And so I would go on a lot of blind dates. And it's the coolest thing because you are going to see a variety of women. Let's say you date just pretty blonde white girls. If you're asking to go on blind dates, you're going to go out with Tongan women, Chinese women, black women, Native American. Like and I'm using the example of race because there is a variety there. But you are going to date women that you never thought you would ever date. And if you're a guy who, you're a good looking guy and your friends who are setting you up are good looking, their friends are good looking, that you're going to get a variety that's still inside of your personal space, the type of women that you would go out with anyway. But it's going to put a variety in there that has an external element to it. It's someone else setting you up with what they feel you would want to go out with. But oftentimes it's very different than what you yourself would approach at a mall or, I don't know, your waitress or bartender. I'm going off of example of what I see guys usually go towards. Um, but the blind date is great because it's going to be very educational. You are going to basically walk up to a door and you don't know what's on the other side of it. That is so challenging yet rewarding while educating yourself and opening up your borders a little bit. You're taking yourself outside of the box. It's really asking for a paradigm shift in a lot of ways. It really is. And there were times I would go on a blind date and I would ask myself, why did my friend set me up with this girl? And nothing bad to say about the friend or the one that I went on with, but sometimes it was very it was very much a situation of feedback for me. So my friend would tell me, I'm going to set you up with this gorgeous girl. She's so cute. You're going to love her. She's just like the other girls you go out with. And I would go out with her and I would think, I've never been out with a girl like this. And sometimes she's not, I wasn't as attracted to her. And so there were just so many points of education there for me to really grasp and nurture and take in and harness as, you know, people see us very differently than we see ourselves. Sometimes we see ourselves very differently than people see us. Those really are two completely different things said the same way. The blind date is just a really cool thing, and it eliminates having to ask somebody out. At the stage that we're in right now, you're approaching women. You're doing some of the things that I have you doing, but we're not even halfway there. And so you're throwing yourself into the deep end of the pool by going on a blind date, but it's taking out some of those elements that you may or may not find difficult right now. So Get on the phone, start getting some blind dates out there. Call those that are close to you, men or women. I usually want you to take men out of the equation when it comes to education because they have very little to offer. But when it comes to simply lining you up with someone, your guy friends are good for that. More often than not, men like to just keep their women to themselves, and they don't want to let it go. And those that are under my tutelage, you need to totally get rid of that idea. We are our brothers and sisters in the human family. Holding on and interfering with other people's interpersonal relationships doesn't make any sense at all. I encourage you to leave those kind of friends in your past if you have any like that. Every once in a while, I will start a new friendship with a guy who very much wants to introduce me to the girls in his life. And it's just such an open spirit to be like that. And so, yeah, if you've got guy friends that want to introduce you to their girlfriends, go for it, man. I'm telling you, that's a great but very uncommon resource to have. So I look forward to talking with you guys for the next date.